Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendon Traxler.
Greetings, Mr. Jewell.
Man, you cut me off before I could even do the intro.
Oh, my bad.
Now I'm just throwing off.
I apologize.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sea Colony live stream. My name's Adam, and this is my friend Brendon over here. Brendon, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. We're experiencing different sensations as far as temperature goes. You said
this is always a conversation for the first part of the year.
Yeah, because it's always amusing to me how drastically different it is.
It was 82 here today.
Yeah, see? And it was like 10 here today. Maybe not quite so bad, but plenty more snow to come. Anywho, how you been?
Busy. Busy. We got lots of stuff that's been going down. Stuff I haven't even talked to you about just because I've been so busy and we just haven't really talked that much this last week.
You don't really talk to me much about anything anymore. You just kind of put me on the back burner. So I see where I rank.
Don't worry. Other people have complained about it too. So
I'm excited to hear what news you might need to share. But what all are we going to be discussing? Just kind of an open discussion today, isn't it?
It's pretty much. I got some stuff to talk about. There's different things that are going on right now, like the Neptune 100 and other stuff coming up. I had a good call yesterday with our friend Martin over in Turkey, who also, he was talking about the earthquake they had over there too, which he's pretty far from it. But he says they're like 600 kilometers, he said, away from it. But he's like, it was still shaking everything at his place that far away. So, yeah. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that too. And just different stuff, different events that I'm involved with coming up, ASC's involved with. So yeah, there's different stuff going on. But figure to give a couple minutes, allow people to come in here. I think it's going to be a slow night tonight, so probably be a short one too.
Yeah, that's all right. It's I was just having a discussion today that it's just like, to me, it's crazy that it's already in the March. For some reason, I don't know. Obviously, February is a shorter month, but it still seems like even for being a shorter month, it went by super quick.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, especially, I don't know. They all say the older you get, the faster time goes. And I think there's some believability to that, some credence to that.
Especially when you have kids around you, that makes everything speed up a lot more too, because then you're like keeping track of what they have going on and stuff.
It's like they say, well, the nieces are out of school. It's like I get nothing done. Mm-hmm. It's like because it's just like my only me time usually is after everybody goes to bed. So then I'm almost tired. So
yeah, that's typically what it is here. And we got, this time of year, both my girls are in dance, so this is the busy time of year that are competitions and recitals and all that Yahoo and plus regular school. Huh?
I said, all right, that's boring.
That's boring. It usually is, actually. Anyways, but yeah. There's been a lot of lively discussion in the Discord as per usual. My phone's always going off and notifications of what we got going on there. So
I've got a private conversation going on with somebody right now, just giving some interesting feedback and some good stuff too, stuff we've talked about and haven't implemented yet. Mm-hmm. So it's a confirmation that some of the changes we're making or slowly working on making is right. And just from conversation with some other people who are knowledgeable in different fields. So changes to the website coming down just from his discussion, stuff I've been meaning to do. And he's like, hey, this needs to change. I'm like, oh, yeah. So some good stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll hop right into it. If people hop in here, great. If not, great.
Tell me about what's going on with Jules right now, my guy.
Well, I think you know what's going on with Jules right now, but
I know, but this is just how we open the conversation.
Yeah. No, I think most people, especially if you're in this field, because that's a niche niche field, the underwater aspect of everything. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that too, but they're doing right now a record-breaking Joe Dituri, Dr. Deep Sea. He's doing 100 days underwater, and most of it's scientific. He's got different kids coming down. They've been shown on social media, all these young kids that are becoming aquanauts and stuff along those lines, and it's really cool. It's one of those things where when I was talking to Martin, actually, I said, he's like, I don't get it. Because I don't understand the purpose of it. Because it's not really because in his mind, it's not furthering things along. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's conversation. And hopefully any conversation is good conversation, as far as there is no such thing as bad news, is what they say. And same thing with this. If it's getting people talking, and hopefully it's getting kids energized, which will be the next generation. Right. So I take it as a good thing. The one thing, and Baby and I were talking about this, is why aren't they live streaming this thing? I would have cameras 24/7 going on this thing.
Yeah.
I'd have multiple cameras, and there's like no live streams. It's like lots of updates and lots of clips and stuff along those lines. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe there's legal reasons they can't do it too, but with all the different people coming and going.
Right.
But still, I think you could have something going on more than what it is. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll ramp it up as they're going on. But one cool thing about it is that, so he's mentioned that people said, hey, how can I come? He's like, sign up with it's Jeanette at mrdf.org. And MRDF is the foundation that owns the area and Jules and stuff like that. Anyway, and I guess that anybody, as you sign up there and you've got a viable reason for coming, you can be invited and go down there and hang out with them. So
very cool.
Yeah, that's what it looked. So I'm not sure what's involved with it. I haven't emailed them yet. I'm thinking about emailing just see what the deal is.
Go over again.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to anyway. But I was encourage anybody that's you know where to find it, but follow Jules on their Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Follow Dr. Deep Sea on his socials. Thane even, because he's posted a bunch of stuff. He posts everything anyway. So if you're following those three, you're going to get most of what's going on. As it gets we're only a week in right now, so they're getting ramped up. We will be doing some more stuff. I'm hoping if they start doing some live streams and stuff like that. If not, we'll make our own content around it as well to piggyback on the excitement and what's going on there. But yeah, it's exciting. It's once again record-breaking 100 days that Joe will be down there. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying earlier, and you already mentioned it, is that I do think it's cool that they're getting like kids involved in it, because one of what we say a lot is the fact that meetings were in such a niche field or whatever, that getting the awareness out there has been one of the hurdles that we've been trying to do. But like when you think about it, I mean, who gets more passionate and crazy about stuff than kids? Like when they're really interested in something and they really want, I mean, you obviously, my kids well enough to where it's like they will talk about anything they get excited about. So if this is like getting some kids like excited and like, interested in this kind of thing, I mean, that's great. I mean, would you have loved the opportunity when you were like 10 or 12 to be able to go do this and not have to wait until you're, how old to go find the experiences? And then, like I said, it's planting the seeds. Like maybe this is just another field trip for them, whatever, but there might be plenty of those kids that are just like, oh man, there might be something to this type of field of work, or like just being in this environment. And to me, that's what's really cool. It's just like giving them that experience to, who knows what could come from it.
It's one of those things too, is how do you keep that energy going though too? I look at it, it's very similar to the space camp in Alabama. I always wanted to go to that thing as a kid too. And it's like the same basic thing. If you can go there and experience the whole thing, obviously you can't experience space down there, but you get to go through all a bunch of stuff. That leaves an imprint on you. And if there's organizations and there's ways you can constantly keep involved with those kids and spur that creativity and that desire on, that's really where it's at. Otherwise, it's going to be really cool and you're going to die off and go back to your regular lifestyle and forget about it, but it was becoming second nature. It's like a great memory, and that's all it was. So I think that's really part of the problem too.
Yeah.
Well, there's opportunity, not problem, but an opportunity to be solved.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe some of those kids will be like, I wonder what else is going on in that type of field. And then they'll be like, what's this Atlanta Sea Colony thing?
Yep, absolutely. So that's I think that's the biggest thing going on right now, and will be going on for the next couple of months. Is that so? anyway.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what all happens with it because, like I said, with it being, 100 days and what, they're day 8? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 8.
Something like that.
7 or 8. Yeah, very cool. The other thing that I want to go real quick was I said I was talking to Martin with Calamar Park. And Calamar Park, we've talked about it, but never in depth. Calamar Park is Martin Henke. He's over in Turkey. And he's got several guys working with engineers. He's got other people working with him. He's got a good amount of support. And his whole focus is space analog. I mean, he wants to build underwater habitats just in general, but his focus and what he's really focused on and marketing towards is space analog. So he's working with space agencies over in Europe and stuff along those lines and trying to get funding from them to build this. Him and I had a good conversation, and we always talk about this as far as if we just all work together, we can get this done. And the problem always is everybody's got their idea of what they want to build and and stuff along those lines. So it's one of those things that how do we mesh those two together and give the people an opportunity to build their own thing, yet helping each other. And so Martin and I have this great conversation where we share ideas. We tell each other what we're thinking. He's straight up told me, hey, I don't like the name Atlantis Sea Colony. This guy on Discord said that too. We'd already discussed that about moving away from that. The rebranding is going to be ridiculous, but start calling it ASC. And that's just one of the things where we have a good enough conversation. We can have that. He put on those 2 different events that I was involved with Sylvia Earle and Jan Koblik and all them. So, I mean, he's very passionate about it. He's a little bit older than I am. But yeah, we had a great conversation. But it's an opportunity on how to solve it. And it's one of those things we throw out to the community too, is how do multiple chiefs get their vision in a cohesive way? And I don't know. That was the conversation that Dennis Chamberlain and I had several years too, was the whole aspect of, yes, we all want to be cordial and we all working towards the same goal, but we have different ideas of how to achieve it. And how do you do that while being cordial and being open and inclusive? And it may be impossible, but I'm not ready to throw in the towel on that yet.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, is that one thing we've seen is like none of it's impossible. It's just a matter of, like I said, finding the correct level of teamwork on the ideas and what level of what you can work together on, and while still having competitive businesses or whatever. Even if we are creating the same product as maybe a couple of other people with the same idea, how we want to market it and how we want to sell it. And, our customer base could be completely different than someone else's. So, we can still, like I said, share that same passion, same knowledge without necessarily hurting us, as far as a prosperity sense, because, if they're targeting a different goal than we are, then, what's the harm?
Yeah. And that's kind of the whole thing is like, I don't think there's any bad underwater opportunities as far as building an underwater habitat, but it is such a niche market. And talking to that point, the more and more I get looking at it, with something else we were talking about is like, hey, if even, people like Fabien Cousteau, who has got it handed to him with the name alone, is having trouble, doing it or isn't able to do it. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. And this is something that Michael Lombardi and me talked about too, and has come up multiple different times is where is the money to make it profitable? Because if it's not profitable, nobody's going to invest in it. Nobody's going to want to have a piece of it. And that's why the government has been the primary funder of all that habitats up to now too, is because the government doesn't care about making money because they just write a check or print more money. So, but how does their
income source doesn't go away?
Yeah, the capitalism aspect of the whole thing, how does that play into the whole thing, and how does it make money? Once again, even if you get involved in space, it's still government, so it would be government funded most likely, unless you're getting with some like SpaceX or some other private company, which still money's coming from government either way. But
yeah,
but so how does that play in? But yeah, once again, whether it is space, whether it is hotels and resorts, whether it's like we talk about data centers, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. There's lots of ocean out there, and there's lots of opportunity, and there's lots of money It's just tapping into that money. But we're in such a niche market. Like I was looking at some of these videos that have gone out for this Neptune 100, and they've done what they can. Like I think the top video out there so far has 5,000 views, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I can go watch anything on space and it's got 100,000, 200,000, million views easy. And how do we get that same energy? I don't know. It's one of those things where that is the key. If somebody can figure out how to properly market this thing, that's where it's going to be at.
Yeah.
So, hey, there is the question. There is the $1 million question. Literally, the $1 million question for people is how do we properly market this thing to get the notoriety, get the people interested, excited, and make raving fans of what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, the only couple of things we have is so March 25th, I will be on the Seasteading's Discord doing an event. I'm speaking. I was going to be the 18th, but we moved it back to the 25th. That's a Saturday, from I think 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I think I get like a half hour, an hour, or something like those lines. So I'm working on my speech on that one. I'm really not sure what to talk about. I've got some notes. Obviously, I'm talking about ASC, obviously, but I've talked to multiple times about that. So I'm trying to take a different approach. I got some ideas. So if anybody out there has some suggestions or things they have heard me speak at these seasteading events before, that's something they'd like me to cover or a different approach on it, I'd definitely be all ears because I want it to be different than I've spoken in the past. One time it was just all over the vision of ASC. The second time it was they call it the grandma effect and why being that fluid, that step between land and ocean is so important for underwater habitats. And the third one, I don't want to rehash all that, but I have to, I will. So anyway, that's coming up here in a few weeks. Also, the end of this month, I've got, this is one you don't know about, Adam, is that ArkPard. I'll be doing an interview with them.
Cool.
Yeah, they hit me up on Instagram. I shared one of their things. It was when we talked about it before. We had done clips on social media about ArkPard. And so they hit me up.
I think it was the last one we just did. Or the one before that.
One before that.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, they hit me up and we've been talking back and forth since, shooting some emails. So it looks like they're busy right now. So I'll be doing an interview with them, just figuring out what they're doing, letting you guys introduce you to them. I got some questions I haven't heard answered from them that I'm curious about. So I'm working on my show notes for that to send over to them to make sure that they're good with all the questions I'm going to ask and stuff. So that's coming up. So if you've got questions that you're curious about ArkPard, about what they're doing and who they are and stuff along those lines, definitely let me know because I'll add it to my list and get that over to them as well. So that's going to be a fun one. That'll be a pre-recorded one we're going to do probably, I think Friday morning or something like that. I think the plan.
Okay.
So yeah, and then the last thing, which I mentioned this, I think to you in passing, but nothing to write has come out, and then it came back. But there's a Lunar Development Conference coming this year. It's a virtual event that I'm been asked to be involved in. It's in July. So on that whole space vein, I think it's a European thing. I'm not sure. So I'm working on my notes on that as well. So once again, you got several different events coming up that we're involved in or heading up here and something along those lines. So yeah, a lot going on. It's been keeping me on my toes, keeping me busy, keeping me moving. At the same time, something we talked about behind the scenes, Dave and us, was shooting some real life videos for ASC, and one of them was getting in a shipping container and shooting some video. I'm going to try to shoot that here in the next. Now that it's warming up a little bit, shoot that up pretty soon here. So hopefully we'll have some interesting videos, kind of inside a shipping container, showing off, hey, this is how the size is going to be. Here's how this is going to work out and stuff along those lines. So we've got several different videos coming down the pipe. I'm still trying to finalize the data center one, and I've been messing around with ChatGPT on some other videos as far as scripts for those because I'm really enjoying seeing what ChatGPT has to say. I put stuff in there about underwater, and I've already used them once for one of our videos. So yeah.
Yeah, that thing's impressive. Completely off topic, but man, that thing. It's just I've been messing with it. I'm like, this is creepy.
Yeah, I've been trying
I guess it's just an optimized search engine in a sense.
To an extent. I mean, it's a little more than that, but
like, it's similar.
So, there's that. Also, I'm going to, I want to be able to work the one where it take your voice and just do whatever with it, because then I can just like type it all, have chat to do the script, then read it all out in my voice. I never have to do anything ever again, and I'm good. So,
to me, that just seems like it's more work to type things out rather than just say.
No, but I don't type. I type. Here's what I want ChatGPT to write. It writes it out. Then I just copy paste it over into the voice thing. The voice thing just does it for me. So I give it the idea of what I want to do. Like I didn't want to
like that's extra steps of just saying what you want to say.
But no, because I don't have to do it then.
Okay.
I mean, does anybody else see what I'm saying here?
Are you saying like you'd tell ChatGPT like, hey, I need you to do a show about submarines?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant like, okay.
Yeah, and it'll give me the whole, because I did it once. I go, hey, write me a script about this, and it sent me out the whole entire thing with the different placeholders for who speaks at what point in time. It's crazy. And you just import that in, and there you go. Anyway, we're completely off track now. Anyway, that's what's going on around here. That's what's coming down the pike. That's all the news that I've got for right now. Since we don't have too many people in here, I say we call it an early evening, unless there's something you wanted to discuss or go over, because we didn't want to talk beforehand about this.
I wish there was more that I could talk about there. I mean, we've kind of been trying to work something out with a YouTuber. I'm not going to say who, because I want to get it worked out.
Or something like that,
yeah. But I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm hoping we can get something out of that. Like a notable one in this field, not just some.
No, it would be a big deal.
Yeah, for us. So that's the only thing I've been working on. Really,
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, he's back, baby. Anyways, no. Other than that, nothing really else that I can think of to cover. So
let's run her down then.
All right, let's do it.
Also, I don't know if we took it out there or not. Yeah, I'm going to take one out. Let's stop talking about that one.
Oh, okay. We're not doing that one anymore?
Yeah. I'll explain later.
Oh, okay. Anyways, guys, AtlantaSeaColony.com. That's the place to be. It's basically the new MySpace. No, I'm kidding. Go there.
Your top 8 fans on there.
Yeah. You can pick your top 8 anything there.
Mm-hmm.
So not only can you view, the models and everything of what we got going on, Brendon has a cool resource page on there for books and podcasts and YouTube channels and stuff like that involving the field. So go ahead and check that out. And like I've always said, if you have any suggestions to throw on that page or anything, get a hold of Brendon. He'll pop them up on there.
And on top of that, because I'm getting ready to redo, I always say this, I'm getting ready to redo the website probably this summer. I know Adam's already thinking I just redid it, but I didn't just redo it. It's been a while.
It feels like you just redid it.
Anyway, so if there's things on there people don't like, because I've been getting suggestions from different people say about stuff on there. I have already an idea for the look, but I'm up for everything. If you got an idea on what it should look like, if you got,
I need to put Clippy in there,
content on there, hey, let me know, because I want to make this thing bombastic. Yes.
And while you're there, go over to our merch store. We got some cool ASC merch, and I've been saying it for like 3 months, but I do need to get like a new hat. Now that football season's over, I need to wear something else besides my football hats. That, and I mean, hey, when the weather starts warming up, get yourself a tank top, sun's out, guns out type deal.
Or not, and just go shirtless.
Yeah, or if you live
ASC tat.
Ugh. I'm not that dedicated to anything, but even though I did just get a tattoo on my leg. But anyways, so yeah, lots of cool stuff over there. Cups, mugs, shirts, and hoodies, and whatever. Anything that can be merchandise, we basically have it over there. So go check that out. Check out our Discord. The Discord link is on there, as well as our social medias. Man, I missed that. That's usually my first thing I hit. So anyways, our social medias are on there as well. The Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and the link to our Discord. And like I said, we got lots of good conversation going on over there. So go ahead and jump in on that. And
I'll also throw in here too. We're always looking, and this is something I'm going to talk about. I do know I'm going to talk about the seasteading thing is helping out. You're about ready to talk about Patreon, I think, but financially isn't the only way you can help out. There's different ways you can help out, and hopping the Discord. I made a private channel for one of our people to work on a project for us. If there's stuff like that you can do and you have the knowledge and stuff like that, I will gladly pick your brain, put you to work, whatever, and you can share in the glory when we get this thing built. So yeah, financially is, even though that goes a long way, and ultimately we could hire people and stuff like that. But if you've got the knowledge and you got the skills, I will put you to work. So hit me up. And that's literally for anything. I mean,
don't advertise it like that. Be like if you're labor, I'm going to put you to work.
Yeah. But I will definitely use your talents to the best of ASC's ability. But carry on, Adam.
Okay. And speaking of that, one of the ways, if you want to help without having to be put to work, I mean, one of the great ways to do that is through Patreon. We have 3 different tiers there, and I always forget them: 5, 15, and 25.
I believe that's correct.
Man, I'm getting good. 5, 15, and 25. So if you're capable of helping out and donating per month, that's a great way of doing it. So head on over to patreon.com/Atlantis Sea Colony. Plus, Brendon always does a monthly Patreon exclusive live stream over there.
Usually the last Saturday of the month.
Yeah, it's a good way to. I mean, it's to get some. When we have like big updates, it goes to Patreon first. So,
and here's the deal: all of our Patreon members, except for Babe, are just pretty much quiet. They really don't say much. They don't do anything. I'd like you guys to be a little bit more involved, but you don't have to be. I'm not requiring you to. So it's
not only do you have to donate, you have to be involved.
Yeah, I want feedback. But no, and same thing with Patreon. If you have ideas on how to spice it up too, I'm all about it.
Yeah. That I've been begging Brendon not to go to the OnlyFans route, but he's getting desperate, guys.
It's my spicy Patreon.
So let's just get that Patreon built up. Speaking of Patreon, thank you to the patrons that we do have: Edward Haas, Brian Acosta, Matthew Cathy, Martin Reese, and our good friend S. Hyde. So thank you guys for all the help that you do. And once again, that stuff is putting a little bit of money in the ASC bank account. It's helping us do what marketing we can do. It's helping us get those cool designs that we've been able to show you. It's helping us get some blueprints made. It's doing all that stuff. So none of that's possible without you. And once again, at most, like we talked at the top of the show, get the word out there. Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids about ASC.
This is your brain. This is your brain on ASC.
Yeah, and then talk about like getting the bends and stuff to like tie it in somehow, educate them. So spread the word. When you see our posts and stuff, whenever you see news and stuff, they just be like, hey, check out ASC. So that's the kind of thing we appreciate. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks.